being cut out of the endgame due to the extremely competitive nature of the deep desert. Starting soon, some areas of deep desert will now be flagged as partial warfare, areas where players will be able to explore testing stations and harvest T6 resources without the threat of conflict that they may not want. It's important at least they're actually listening, dude. It's important to note that the top tier of the game is balanced around guilds and groups, so people will still find it grindy if they play solo. I feel targeted. I'm not complaining though. I understand that Landsraad control points, shipwrecks, and the largest spice fields within the region of the Deep Desert will remain War of Assassins. Good. The deepest parts of the Deep Desert will remain as they currently are, high reward, high risk areas. Stop saying that backwards. The beauty of the Deep Desert design with weekly resets and renewals is that we can iterate and experiment with different layouts and setups to really help us tune it. As we make changes, we will send out surveys to help us capture your thoughts. I'm impressed. I'm actually kind of impressed. They actually seem to be listening and acting accordingly. A game dev has never done that before. No one in the survival genre, especially Last Oasis. PvP itself has plenty of issues that need to be addressed. Yeah, your clunky ass combat, for one. We're taking steps in that direction with our first changes to Scout Ornithopters. Stated in the AMA, these should be implemented in-game shortly. Scout Thopters with rocket launchers attached will have their speed maneuverability reduced. Yeah, that was a bit of an oversight to not have that. Rockets fired from Scout Ornithopters will have a increased heat generation. Another oversight. Glad they're addressing that. Thrusters will provide a max speed bonus regardless of wings, ensuring that thruster-equipped scouts will be the fastest vehicles in-game, as they should be. A new T5 infantry rocket launcher will be added to help improve the dynamics of vehicle ground combat. Who's even doing ground combat in the deep desert at this point, you know? No one. It's all dogfighting, unless they're surfing on another thopter. There are additional changes to the mechanics like respawn timers of vehicle storage tools, hand scanners, and other mechanics that we see being abused in the deep desert. In what way? I could see how respawn timers might be abused. Vehicle storage tools I could see being abused. Hand scanners, I'm a little, that one eludes me. I'm not sure how that could be abused, but I don't even really use the tool. There's a unique hand scanner that specifically shows life forms, like players, I assumed. Oh, probably. Yeah, you're probably right. The intended dynamic of the Deep Desert PvP in Dune Awakening is that unless you really mess up, you always have the option to retreat in good order with whatever you've managed to claim so far. As long as you don't fly like shit, you should be fine. If you're smart and vigilant, you never have to fight if you don't want to. If you run, you'll have to call a halt to whatever task you're pursuing, but that should always be a choice. PvP should happen when both parties decide they want to fight over a location. Or you get chased down for 15 kilometers. Oh, they got a wing. Oh, shit. We could talk about this. We could talk about it. Use your words, boys. Use your words. So they're trying to make it the dynamic consensual PvP, which isn't a bad thing. It's just being able to actually balance that into a game is difficult. Finally, the intended dynamic has always been combined arms. We have infantry and ground vehicles and air vehicles. I'll finish reading before I comment on that one. And they're all supposed to have clear roles, clear strengths, and clear counters. Thopters will always be incredibly important for crossing the desert, but they shouldn't also be the dominant force in actual battles. We're planning to make more changes to the deep desert to accommodate ground battles. Does that mean more rock formations? And reinforce the use of player builds. Yeah, because currently how it's set up, there's like practically no use for a ground vehicle in the deep desert whatsoever. It's like way more tedious than what it's worth to drag one out there, unless you're in a big group and using a sand crawler. As a system, it is an activity driver that is designed to promote the conflict between the factions, internal politics between the guilds, while providing goal thresholds for individuals and groups to work towards getting personal rewards. The Landsraad should be doing that for everyone who wants to participate in the Elder game. Fuck it, what is an Elder game? Be they PvEer or PvPer, the Landsraad should be giving you things to do every day and every week. True. It's nothing new from a design perspective. We've seen daily, weekly quest systems in games for a long time. Okay. I don't feel like Landsraad is the issue, though. Our approach was to try and frame this system around the greater politics of the Dune universe by having players engage in activities to earn the votes of various Landsraad houses. Are people just ignoring it? Well, yeah. Never mind. I am one of those people that have been ignoring it. But I'm solo. It's harder to do Landsraad as a solo. Let me acknowledge that as an activity driver, the activities it asks you to participate in are simplistic. A lot of item hand-ins and crafting requests. You know how the other day I was saying that it seems to be a standard nowadays for games to release. They do a beta test, and then they release onto PC. And then consoles don't see it for another 3 to 6 months. That's because the official release for us is just more testing before they put it out on a console, and that clearly just really proves that point. Landsraad is an umbrella for all endgame activities. What form do those endgame activities take? More dungeons with bosses that drop endgame loot. Thank you. More contracts that require specific tasks to be undertaken. Ambiguous, but sure, I can get on board with that. More specialized delivery tasks that include components that cannot be stockpiled. If we ever add raids to the game, you absolutely should add raids, there will be a task on Landsraad to complete those raids. It is a framework that holds the endgame activities in place. And by doing that, okay, that's smart. It should not be an if. It should be a when we add raids. Because that really caters to the dynamic of PvEers feeling like they're walled by a PvP portion of the game. So with what they're intending to implement, it makes it to where PvEers will be able to access the deep desert, but the better loot will be out in the deep desert PvP sections. But if they add raids like they're saying here, that makes it to where those PvEers can access those same rewards, if not a different category of endgame rewards, and not feel blocked off from it. We're addressing some of the key flaws in Landsraad design. Stockpiling is currently rewarded, but that is not our intention for this system. So less grind, that's good, and we will make some changes to address it as best we can. Landsraad rewards are supposed to reflect the endgame tiers of progression. This includes the vendors, which can be unlocked for an entire faction through participation. Wow. Participation. Cannot speak today. This is the intention, but once again, let me acknowledge that this isn't exactly in the right place. Landsraad will be updated to provide micro rewards for solo small group players. Let's go. That's me. Once a live game launches, it becomes a collaborative effort between the developers and the players to make it something amazing. I'm gonna stop throwing shade towards Last Oasis. I don't even need to say anything about that. If you're with us, our intention is to be clear and open in our communication and make Dune Awakening a game that everybody can enjoy. They listened. If we're to judge by this, but they listened. We'll see what actually gets implemented, but if we're to take them for their word, they listened. I think that is they're making the right move there. Well, we'll see what's to come, but if they actually do what they're saying here and make the if a win for raids, I think they've got a solid direction. But we'll see.